Good morning. I'm going to talk about a project that I've been wanting to share about for a while. Finally getting around to it. Sorry it's been a while, just been super busy. A lot of you seem to like the video of the ball bearing going around with the shadows. That was pretty cool, I will admit. Somebody pointed that out. I was like, oh, I got to get a shot of that. I mean, it was my own model, but somebody was like, dude, look at that. So that's cool. That's a YouTube short on my channel. You should go check it out. It's kind of mesmerizing. You'll sit there and go, wait, I've watched this 7 times. Um, anyways, so I've been working on a project for a train, and truth be told, I'm warming up to the idea of getting a 12-volt train. Lots of my friends are getting them, or have had them. And so I think I might, but that's going to be long in the future if I ever do 12-volt trains. The 12-volt train system was not produced in the United States, and so it's very hard for somebody like me to get them for inexpensively, for low cost. That's kind of unheard of. And so 12-volt is what's the word I'm looking for? It's not, is it antique? It's vintage. It's vintage. And so, of course, it's collectible and desirable all over the world. But yeah, in the States, it's hard to find them. So, anyway. Yeah, I'm warming up to the idea. But in the meantime, I'm stuck on the 9-volt system. And I really love the 9-volt system because it's compatible with all these other systems. So, for example, we've got this really long rat's nest right now, but it's like a pair of earbuds, just like endlessly tangled. Anyway, we've got these 9-volt connectors, right? And forgive me, I'm sniffling a little bit because my allergies are so bad, but this is the bottom of the connector, right? This is the top. And it's really simple because you can connect it at any 90-degree increment, just like any 2x2 brick. It's 2 plates tall, which means it's smaller than a brick, and it fits into smaller spaces. I just recently picked up, I don't have it here, I'm not going to get it out for this video, but I do have a 1-plate tall version, it's very rare. In fact, the description on BrinkLink is the name of the cable, and then in parentheses it says rare brick height. So you know it's bad when the official catalog, or what I consider the most official catalog of Lego parts, is calling it rare. So, because let's be honest, most things that are claimed to be rare are not actually all that rare. They're just either uncommon or hard to find or whatever. They're not rare, or they're expensive. Either way, so the 9-volt system is forwards and backwards compatible with lots of systems. Following the 4.5-volt system here in the United States was the 9-volt system, and using these connectors. And then to follow that was Mindstorm's RCX, which also used these connectors that I can't seem to get apart. Anyway, there we go. Anyways, so then after that was like the Mindstorm's NXT program, which introduced a new, it's kind of like RJ12, but it's not. Anyway, it's these new connectors, not new now, but at the time they were new. 2006, I think, is when they came out with the NXT. And then they came out with the EV3, which used the same connectors. Well, the thing is those don't connect to the 9-volt system. However, with the NXT, introduction to the NXT, they still had the 9-volt lamps. Back in 2006, they were those 1x2 white bricks with incandescent bulbs sticking out. And so those were still around and being produced in sets, including the RC train system, which is something that also used the 9-volt system. And so the Mindstorm system, then the developers decided to include in the 2006 release of the NXT, in that kit was an RCX or a 9-volt plug, this plug, to NXT Mindstorm's converter wire. And so you can pick those up on Bricklink for just a couple bucks or whatever. I think I saw them the other day. I think they were like $7 a piece. They're not that expensive for an adapter cable. And it allows you to connect Mindstorm's motors to your Power Functions batteries by using the Power Functions extension wire, which is also a converter wire. Anyway, there's all these deals. So anyways, so I'm stuck with a 9-volt system for now, and I bought that 1-plate tall 9-volt connector for the purpose of using it in this project, which I'll bring into the light now. This is one of the, I have both sets that it came out in. This is the RC train line, excuse me, which used it was based on the 9-volt system, but it had plastic wheels and plastic track, and you used an infrared remote that was way too bulky. It's like this big, black with yellow switches, and one operated the train horn, one stopped the train, and then the other two buttons, the other toggle was forward and back at like 7 or 8 different speeds. I think it was 7 speeds. And so anyways, I have that system, so I had this motor, and that means that I can connect. It uses the plastic track, which is what I have. I don't have any of the metal rail track, but it still has the contact and no wire. So that's perfect for me. So I used this in that case, and I'm going to put the 1-plate tall wire there, and you can see I've prepared a location with this 1x4 plate here, scooted over, that the wire can come out and then wrap around. Anyways, so this is going to be an all Lego train. And you're like, well, what's the C-channel bricks for? This is going to be an all Lego train that can couple and uncouple cars in a yard. It's going to actually be able to remote control shunt around a yard, which is going to be really, really cool. And I thought of this idea, and I went, I'm going to look into it. And what I was trying to replicate was a German locomotive called a Küfzwei. Küfzwei. I am not German. I'm trying to learn German. It's so much different than English sometimes. Anyways, Küf is a model number or model name. It's just a name. There is no translation because it's the name. It's like Subaru. It's just a name. Not affiliate. Anyways, so Zwei is 2 in German, the number 2. Ein, zwei, I can count to 2 in German. Ein is 1. Anyways, so I wanted to recreate that, partially because the Lego company actually owned one, like a real locomotive, and this locomotive was then painted yellow, and it's a German locomotive. They purchased it, brought it over to Denmark, to one of their factories, which when they bought the grounds for this factory, it had train rails built into it between the buildings, and they were like, well, let's take advantage of that. So they bought this little tiny shunter. What a shunter is, are you familiar with a yard dog? If not, a yard dog is similar, but it's the, I'm going to borrow the term automobile version of it. It's a semi-truck, but it's very small. So a shunter or switcher, the job of a shunter is literally to move small pieces of freight or small numbers of cars for a train around a train yard. And because it's smaller, it's shorter, more compact, it's like a tractor. It can fit into tight spaces, and so they can clear the switches before one of the big engines would be able to. And so they can maneuver it around a little bit quicker, and so on and so forth. Now, I wanted to build the Cuse Phi because, like I said, Lego owned one at one of their factories, and the story is fascinating. And I'll put a link down below for a Brick Nerd article. If you don't know what Brick Nerd is, check them out. It's pretty cool. They produce articles pretty regularly about the Lego hobby and everything about it. So all the different topics that you and I deal with on a regular basis. So anyways, go check them out, show them the love. But they came out with an article, and this was the introduction to the idea. Is somebody had built a 10 wide, 10 stud wide, very big version of the Cuse Phi that could couple and uncouple from remote control. And I went, oh, that's genius. And somebody else said, I'm going to use circuit cubes and make this thing like truly minifigure scale. And I was like, oh, that's genius. And the techniques involved are amazing. And some of these guys won awards, and I was just like, all right, I gotta get a piece of the pie here. And so I got bit by that bug and started doing research on Cuse Phi. Well, the problem is with the design that I have for the uncoupling and coupling mechanism is it's too wide in the middle. Well, Cuse Phi is wide in the rear and narrow in the front and middle, and then it's really short. And I was trying so hard. The reason it's short is so that they could transport it on top of a flat car and it could travel through tunnels and it wouldn't be a big deal. We don't have tight tunnels in the United States very often, and so at least around where I am in Texas, it's not mostly flat, but it is mostly open in that we're not going through the hills, we're not going through the mountains, we just cut through them, or we go around them, or we go up over them, or whatever. And so yeah, I decided this morning not to do Cuse Phi for now, at least for this particular locomotive. I've decided instead to replicate a 12-volt set. There's one in particular, set number 7760, and this particular one, it's blue. I love the color blue, let's just be honest. But also it's a 12-volt train, it's a shunter, it's a gorgeous model, okay? It's also got blue counterweights, 2x6x2 weight bricks in blue. Are you kidding me? It's the only set that came in, only set that had certain windows, and anyway. So to piece one together would cost me around $200 without box, without instructions, without figures, probably about $200. To buy one outright without the box, without the instructions, probably missing a couple pieces, about the same, $200 plus shipping. And you can find them for less, but I was like, I don't want to spend $100, and then I'd be stuck with a system that I don't have much of. So I'm going to build my own. I'm going to build a 7760, and I think I'm going to do it in medium azure because I love that color. I really do. And instead of the blue, and then it'll stand out a little bit more unto itself. It's going to have the decoupling mechanism. So anyway, that's your first preview of this project. Hopefully it works out well. I don't know if I'm going to have to use the one plate tall version now that I'm building a different geometry train, but Anyway, so stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching this ramble. If you really did make it to the end, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to trim this video down. I'm not going to edit it too much. I'm just going to toss it out there because my fans have been waiting long enough for me to shoot a video out to you. So I do apologize for that. I really enjoy this channel. Just the fan base here and the supporters that I have. Thank you. I've got more coming. I know I keep promising it. I really do. I can't pan over to the shop area. In fact, it doesn't look any different than the last time you saw it. But I have made progress, and I'll continue making progress as much as possible. I think in the next month or so, the bench will be clear. Underneath the bench will be clear. And I can start making videos with a white topped background instead of a white violin background, and so on. And then yeah, I have decided to buy a camera, so I will be continuing to use my phone when I'm at home, but when I go to shows, I'll be using a combination of my phone and a new camera. I haven't decided which camera to buy, so if you have a recommendation, feel free to leave that in the comments as well. I'm looking at a couple different ones, but we'll see. Something small enough to fit on a monorail. Yes, I did just say monorail, and yeah, I got a box going into the mail today, actually, containing my first monorail parts, other than stanchions. I've had stanchions before, but yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm not gonna do, okay, so so last thing, I said earlier, I'm gonna recant something here. Don't be too disappointed. I'm not gonna do haul videos. I might show a couple pieces that showed up in a haul, but I'm not going to show haul videos. They're a lot of work. You have to have a whole lot of space to do them, or at least I do. I have to have a lot of space to do them. It takes a lot of time, takes some editing, all that. Not a bad thing. I just rather be videoing other things and just getting to it and enjoying the unboxing experience. To me, that's very enjoyable. I can see why people like watching it. But I'm gonna enjoy that alone, and then I'll show you some select parts from that haul. Yeah. So and thanks Desert Pirate for the parts that have been coming recently and the parts that are coming today, are being sent out today. So I look forward to that box. Folks, that does have some parts that I'm going to share about. That was pretty cool. Completing antique sets, or sorry, vintage sets, etc. So again, thank you everybody for watching. If you haven't already, feel free to think about subscribing. There's lots of stuff here. We've talked about gearboxes like this one already. This one was developed by Umakaloo. I think that's how you pronounce it. I always see his Discord handle and think to myself, Umakaloo! But maybe that's just me. Anyways, yeah, and good stuff like this thing, and there's going to be more content on this for sure. I just talked to some real engineers about this, and they have agreed to help with the project, so that's really cool. Anyways, so thanks again, and bye for now.